Hello everyone, my name is Raquel Hernandez. I will be discussing the significance of Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez. Mr. Velázquez painted this beautiful portrait in 1656, and it is Spanish for Maids of Honor. Diego Velázquez is a Spanish painter. He was born in Seville in 1599. He was known as Spain's greatest Baroque artist. In addition to numerous renditions of scenes of historical and cultural significance, he painted scores of portraits of the Spanish royal family. Other notable European figures and commoners culminating in the production of his masterpiece Las Meninas in 1656. Between the ages of 11 and 16, he worked as an apprentice to the Mannerist painter Francisco Pacheco. This is where he also gained the influences of Flemish and Italian realism. For the first few years after he had served his apprenticeship, Velázquez's works fell into three categories. These were the bodegones, which comprised of everyday subjects, combined with still life, portraits, and religious scenes. Diego Velázquez showed a strong bias towards naturalism. One of his earliest bodegones was the meal, which is now on display in the Hermitage in St. Petersburg. This may have been his first work as an independent master. The Water Cellar of Seville is another early bodegones that Diego Velázquez produced. It is on display at the Apsley House in London. The Water Cellar of Seville is often compared with the work of Caravaggio because it has a very clever use of light and shadow and is a realistic portrayal of nature. Velázquez used the people of Seville as models for his religious paintings and his adoration of the Magi, which is now on display in the Prado Museum in Madrid, which actually portrays one of his own family portraits and a self-portrait for the biblical figures. In 1622, he painted a portrait of the great poet Luis de Góngora y Argate, which now hangs in the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. He was able to portray the artist because he moved in the intellectual circles of Seville and was introduced to many of the poets and writers of that time. A year later, Velázquez traveled to Madrid. He earned the chance to paint a portrait of the powerful Count Duke of Olivares. Painting a portrait of the powerful Count Duke of Olivares, the court duke then recommended Velázquez's services to King Philip IV. Upon seeing a completed portrait, King Philip IV of Spain decided that no one else would paint him and appointed Velázquez as one of his own court painters. The move to the royal court gave Velázquez access to a vast collection of works and brought him into contact with important artists such as Flemish Baroque masters Peter Paul Rubens, who spent 6 months at the court in 1628. Among Velázquez's notable works from that period were the Triumphs of Bacchus, in which a group of revelers falls under the powerful spell of the Greek god of wine. Velázquez's technique of painting was inspired by Baroque. Baroque is the period and the style that used exaggerated motion in order to produce drama and tension in a sculpture, painting, literature, dance, and music. Las Meninas is a 1656 painting in the Museo del Prado in Madrid. Las Meninas is a portrait of Infanta Margarita's daughter of King Philip IV and the second wife, Mariana of Austria. The painting's complex and enigmatic composition is an excellent example of how great works of art are made. Las Meninas allows the spectator to freely interact with the painting's various, contradictory points of view, and therefore offers him a fuller understanding of the painting's emotional and intellectual depth. Infanta Margarita has dropped in to see Velázquez at work. She stops right next to him at the center of the foreground of the painting, but she seems perplexed. Velázquez spotted Infanta Margarita's psychological perplexity in front of the large window of his studio and analyzed her behavior. This is a peculiar strangeness in Las Meninas. Infanta Margarita is definitely not posing for her portrait. Next, we see that the king and queen are reflected in the back wall mirror of his studio. Therefore, we assume that Velázquez is painting the portrait of the royal couple who is standing behind his easel. But as we look deeper, we discover that Infanta Margarita is the center of attention and focus of Las Meninas. Velázquez's Las Meninas is a portrait of Infanta Margarita, the daughter of King Philip IV. This portrait focuses on the way Velázquez painted Infanta Margarita's psychological perplexity. In front of the large window of the studio, he also focuses on Infanta Margarita's beauty, her intelligence, and above all, her interest in the beauty of the visible world. The significance of Las Meninas is not who the painter is witnessing and not what is happening, but what we are able to witness is the painter and his adherence to the truth. Thank you.